On a rainy Saturday morning, 58 men are in a meeting room talking about what led them here.
There's probably about a million other places you guys would rather be than sitting in this class right now.
All of these men have been arrested for solicitation.
Went to meet up at a hotel, and it ended up being, I'm guessing, what was a sting operation, because instead of an escort waiting for me, there was 3 police officers.
Josh did not want his face shown, but he explains he was always the funny fat friend who could never get a date. Then he started drinking too much.
Was never good with like picking up women or having relations with them, and I think that's what led me to thinking that, hey, there's always the escort business in the back of my head.
One night he went online and found an ad for an escort.
What were you looking for when you made the decision, I'm going to seek out an escort?
Just intimacy, being with someone, like an actual partner, I guess, even for the short amount of time it would be, is just the touch of someone.
The nonprofit She Has a Name runs John School and explains about half the men are married. Leaders say the biggest reasons why men solicit is to have sex without any responsibility and because of the easy access of finding escorts, especially online.
From that one ad, we had 5,100 hits, and we had over 4,600 phone calls in a matter of a couple days. And that's one ad in a sea of ads.
Columbus police are cracking down on the demand side of human trafficking.
If we have reasonable penalties, we know that is the #1 thing that will cause them pause to make sure that they don't continue this behavior.
Right now, the average fine for soliciting is less than a traffic ticket. Columbus police are pushing to stiffen the penalties and force jail time.
You legislate what you find important. So we as a community have to say that we don't believe this should continue.
You may think the problem of human trafficking and prostitution only happens right here on Sullivan's Avenue. Police say more and more it's starting online and happening here at hotels in the suburbs.
We know that the prostitution looks very different in Dublin, but it still is very prevalent. And it's mostly in the hotels and motels.
In a recent sting in Hilliard, this pastor was arrested. He was in John School. He did not want to go on camera, but says he told his wife he was arrested. He says she's working on forgiving him and says he has learned his lesson. A sentiment Josh echoes.
Oh, don't do it. It's absolutely not worth it. Like don't get me wrong. I see where you might think in your head, be like, oh, I'm not going to get caught. I thought the same thing. And then not an hour later, I was sitting in the back of a police cruiser getting ready to go to the Pike.
In Columbus, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Columbus police say most women who are human trafficking victims are forced into selling themselves for drugs. They say they are 200 times more likely to become a victim of a violent crime and have an average life expectancy of 34 years old.